Welcome back to the Film and TV channel. We're going to have a look at a drama fantasy horror series, 10 episodes by about 50 minutes approximately. And we're going to have a look at, it was a biggie. I look forward to this one. A big DC Comics fan back in the day, and DC and Marvel, I don't mind. I'm not bothered either way. I'm not dyed in the wool one way or the other. We're going to have a look at the Sandman today, based on the 1989-1996 comic book written by Neil Gaiman and published by DC. And the series was developed by Gaiman, Goya and Alan Heinberg for the streaming service, and that's what is Netflix, produced by DC Entertainment for Warner Brothers. Like the comic, the Sandman tells the story of Dream, the titular Sandman, and it stars Tom Sturridge as the Dream, the main guy in this. A bit more on him later, with Boyd Holbrook, Vivian Achemapong and Patton Oswalt. And a little array, some nice guest appearances as well. We've got Jenna Coleman in this. I do like a bit of Jenna Coleman. Stephen Fry, who can argue with that? And David Thewlis, who for me probably was a standout in this series, in all fairness. I just wish he was in it a bit more. As at the 7th of August, 10 a.m, Rotten Tomatoes audience, they're positive. That's Joe Public, 87% positivity. That's pretty good. Internet Movie Database, 8.1 out of 10. Again, equally as good. There's a lot of 10 out of 10s. There's over 5,430. Well, over 5,430. There's 5,434 10 out of 10s. And so that's a hell of a lot, isn't it? And 825 1 out of 10. So a lot of 10 out of 10s. But you look at the 6 to 9 scores, 5,318 have scored it 6 to 9 and 833 2 to 5. So about an 83-84% positivity rating. So similar to Rotten Tomatoes, even allowing for the 10 out of 10 slew that we've took out. So what's it about? Well, it's 1916, and then it does vary and change throughout the series. Morpheus, the king of dreams and one of the seven endless, is captured in an occult ritual. After being held captive for 106 years, which takes him to what's my maths like, 2022, Morpheus escapes and sets out to restore order to his kingdom of dreaming. He's a good guy or a bad guy. He's a bit of both, to be honest with you. What are the critics themselves thinking? We know the audience like it. Rotten Tomatoes, fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 85% positivity. Average rate is 7.6 out of 10. That's based on 59 critics. And the general consensus, while it may hold few surprises for fans of the source material, the Sandman's first season satisfyingly adapts an allegedly unfilmable classic. Everything's filmable, surely. Metacritic, we use as a weighted average, as we know, has a score of 66 out of 100 based on 27 reviews, 16 positive, 9 mixed, and just 2 negative. So some miseries around. So it does score on Metacritic anywhere between 30 out of 100. There's quite a few 30s and 40s, and 100 out of 100. So let's have a look at individual critics, what they think. Well, Roger Ebert, for Metascore, he gave it 40 out of 100, RogerEbert.com. Daniel Joyot, who's done their little review, he says there's no evidence that any care or consideration was given to appealing to people who aren't already die-hard fans of the source material. And as for those diehards, more than a few of them will grow weary of just how unimaginative, how sadly undreamt about this series of dreams really is. Interesting. I don't know anything about the original source material, and it is quite an interesting mix of stories. I did find it interesting for the most part, but certainly by the end of it, it wasn't something I would say is something you have to watch and is unmissable. IndieWire's Ben Travis only gave it 42 out of 100 and said it's so focused on teasing this character or that realm that it forgets to craft a commanding through line, fully abandons any dissembled art for its lead and falls back on confounding dream logic to keep things moving forward. The Sandman isn't an arduous watch, but absent a beating heart and a focused mind, it is easily forgotten. It seems to happen a lot, this. It seems to get all the elements right, reasonable actors, good sets, and then the sort of script and something else lets it down, and it all comes together to be something that's not that memorable, I think, as the critics implying there. But Ed Powell from The Telegraph, he liked it. He gave it 80 out of 100. He said, the Sandman mostly gets it right and as an authentic and adaptation as might be reasonably expected. For Gaiman fans, it's finally game on. There you go. If you obviously, as I said, I don't know the source material, but from everything I've read, not just Ed Powell, but a lot of people are saying that it's true to the original. So if you're a fan, you won't be disappointed. interesting to see if the comic book series is as inconsistent perhaps as I found this, though, in all fairness. So my little thoughts, guys, just to sum up, the Sandman's never better than when David Thewlis is in the mix, and to a lesser extent Jenna Coleman as well. Sadly, 70% of this series doesn't include either of these two characters, which is a shame, because that's when I found it the most watchable. I find Tom Sturridge a little average in this, although I have no doubt he has captured sort of the essence of the character. I can think of other guys who could possibly play it a little bit better, but he's done okay. And as I said, he's probably a close adaptation from what we've seen in the books. So 10 episodes in total, which possibly I really enjoyed, perhaps 3 or 4 of them, mainly because of the two actors I mentioned before, Jenna Coleman and David Thewlis. I thought when they were on the screen, it perked up. When they were not on screen, it wasn't quite as good. I didn't get as involved and as invested in some of the other characters that were portrayed, especially the lead, which I never cared for either way throughout the series. It's also, I'm also surprised it's classed as an 18 certificate. I'm surprised it's not a little bit darker. There are dark elements in it, but yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be aimed at adults, and I did find it a little bit toned down, considering it's supposed to be an 18 rating. Humour is largely absent. There's 1 or 2 humorous things in it, but it's whether it's there in the comic books, I don't know. I know a lot of these comic books do rely on an element of humour, but there's no real humour in this for me. So, yeah, overall, yes, I'll watch a second series. But again, as I said earlier on, it's just another lost opportunity for me in the sort of DC stroke Marvel adaptation world. I just think it perhaps could have been better. But if it's true to the source material, who am I to quibble with what people like when they read the comic books? Personally, I just wanted a little bit more from this series, which had a lot of potential for me. So I'll give it an okay score. I'll give it a positive rating, but I'll just give it my watchable score of 6 out of 10, just about. As I say, it was okay. It did drag in parts and it did entertain in parts, but overall, a bit of a mishmash for me, a bit of a hit and miss depending on the episodes. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, till we meet again, please, everyone, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.